Hey guys, welcome back. Today we've got a super interesting topic for you. If you have watched our other video, we talk about how we have an au pair at the house that's going to be a young lady, usually 20 to 24 years old, who lives with us, helps us take care of our kids.
It's like a living nanny, usually from another country. Yeah.
And that person generally changes over about every year and a half, because they're only allowed to stay here in the country for a certain period of time, and a lot of times they move after their first year to a different area of the country, to a different host family, because they want to see a different area, because they want to get a little bit more travel in during their time here. And so we got thinking this would be a great topic to talk about with you guys, because we do all the time have another lady who's not part of our family living in our house, and we've gotten used to that, and that's an arrangement that we're probably going to have for at least the next 7 years, I would think.
Yeah, we'll see. We take it in the year by year, but for the foreseeable future, I think that is an arrangement that has worked, and so we plan to continue with it until maybe it doesn't work.
And let's talk about how this whole concept started, though, because right after my former wife passed away, the older kid's mom, I found that I needed some immediate assistance as far as childcare, and what I did initially, and this was just before I met Z, is I started this arrangement where I had somebody who had been kind of a family friend, a lady who had 2 kids of her own, similar age to me, who was interested in being a nanny for my kids, and I hired her on to be a nanny for my kids. And then at some point, I think it was after you and I had been talking, she actually moved in to the house to be a live-in for my kids, and she brought her kids. And at that time, Z and I were starting our relationship. We were dating.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting situation, wasn't it?
It was, because during this dating phase, I knew that initially when I met Charles, he had this family friend that knew both his prior wife, and him. And with the passing of his wife, was nice enough to take on the role of helping him with our 2 older kids. And I was okay with that. I think where it got a little bit, I don't want to say contentious.
Were you always okay with that?
I was okay, because I had the thought that as we got further into the dating, that I would eventually meet this individual. But a couple of months into dating, when we started to, I think, get more serious, I still wasn't able to meet this individual. And that was a little bothersome. I'm like, listen, you were nice enough. I'm like, I don't know what you got going on. And then it got really bothersome when this individual, for me at least, when this individual moved upstairs, right? There was at the time a bedroom in a bathroom upstairs with a loft, and this individual was in a transition of, homes. And so Charles and this individual thought it was best, or it would be easiest for everybody, if she moved upstairs with her 2 boys. She had 2 boys, and Charles and the kiddos were downstairs.
And now keep in mind, at this time, Z was in residency, so she was living about an hour and a half away from where I was living, and we were a few months, 3 months into our relationship, and so there, that it was interesting. There was a lot of concern.
And it was even more concerning because Charles would say, "Hey, you're gonna come by," because I would visit on the weekends. "You're gonna come by. You're gonna meet her." And the first time, oh, she already left. Okay, we miss each other. Second time, she's not here. Third time, well, she doesn't know if she really wants to. That's problematic, right? And I think I spoke to my mom, spoke to my friends. They're like, we don't know. You're telling us if this is platonic and, there's nothing. What is the issue? with her meeting you?
Let me give some background to that though. So the way I knew this person is she had actually been a friend of my former wife, and the one who passed away. That was how this person ended up becoming, engaged with our family. And so she actually had an issue, like a personal issue with me dating at that time. Not, I don't think she had any interest in me whatsoever, but she had like a problem with me dating at that time. And so like when Z would come over, she would intentionally leave. And
That ain't none of my business, but you're living in the home, so out of respect, right? And if you care for your friend who passed away and you care for her children, wouldn't you also want to know the individual who's going to be around those children? To me, that would make sense. I get it. It may be difficult for you to maybe accept that your friend who passed away, her spouse is starting to date, but I would also want to make sure the individual who's around these two children who I'm helping to take care of, there's no concern there, right? And so it was just wrong. I just started dating you. There's this person who lives upstairs. I don't know what her intentions are, you're telling me, but I don't know that personally because I haven't met her, right? And so at that time, we had some really, I think, in-depth conversations about why that was problematic. Could you see from my standpoint where that would be concerning?
oh yeah, absolutely. I absolutely sympathize with your side of things there. For me, it was just irritating because the way I felt at the time, all I could do is tell the truth. All I could do is tell the truth. I have nothing going on with this person other than a business relationship where they help me take care of my kids. I need to have my kids taken care of in order for me to be able to work and for me to be able to function on a day-to-day basis. And so that person, as irrational as they are, was nonetheless very important to me being able to function on a daily basis. And then also Z, who I really was, forming a relationship with, started to care a lot about, saw a lot of possibilities, really wanted to continue developing that. At the same time, I'm like, I know this.
You guys hear a little in the background.
Yeah. I'm like, I know this seems weird, but I'm telling the truth, and I'm just trying to make the best of my situation.
Hindsight, I don't think we would have. Eventually, I did meet this individual, and they were cool. They were okay. It didn't help that a family member told me this person's scared that you're gonna kick her out the house.
Oh, that was my mom.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, she had some conversation with my mom where apparently she told my mom that she was scared of Z because she thought that after Z met her, she was going to kick her out of the house or something. I don't think this individual.
And I probably would have. Correct. But the fact that you're having this conversation with this mother, and I don't think at that time, I'm trying to recall, I don't think at that time I met her. And I was like, yeah, I at that time I didn't meet her. And I'm like, I haven't even met this, but what is this person talking about? I never spoke to her on the phone. So it was just annoyance to me that his own family, his own mother is telling me information. I've never met this person. She never had the opportunity to talk to me to see if I had an attitude with her. So it was very bothersome to me. And I think if it got to the point where we were to continue and I did not meet her, I don't know, just because it was an odd circumstance, if I would have continued with the relationship. But ultimately, I did get the opportunity to meet her, and I do agree. It was completely platonic in that regards, and she eventually bought her own home and moved on. She's no longer, helping us take care of the children. But it was a scenario where I can see maybe some people would not be comfortable with. And I think I got a lot of feedback from my family, like, are you sure this is not something else? And I can see where they're coming from.
Oh, right? Yeah, everybody thought I was sketchy.
If you were in my shoes, if the tables were reversed, like I had a male family friend living above us and he was helping with the kids, but he kept on dodging meeting you, would you still have pursued a relationship with me?
Oh, I still would have pursued a relationship, but I would have also been apprehensive, just like you were apprehensive. And I never thought that you were unreasonable being apprehensive about my situation. I just found it to be extremely annoying, like the realities of my overall situation
Yeah.
that I had to deal with. It's like, I'm telling the truth about everything. This is just what I have to deal with.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then that situation ended because we found another childcare solution, which is the au pair. And I think, and so again, that's another situation where there's a lady who's not part of our family living in our house and taking care of our kids. But now, you're fast forward, you're living at the house now, but for a long time you weren't living at the house, but you and I kind of collaborated together in finding the au pair.
Yes.
And that was something we did together. But nonetheless, that was still the same situation where there is a lady living at the house, and especially back when you were in residency, you weren't there. It was me and a lady in the house with the kids.
Yeah.
And so how did you cope with that on the day to day?
Well, one, and just to clarify, most of these au pairs or nannies from other country, like Charles was saying, are usually in their early 20s. You're looking at 21, sometimes 19, 24, and some of them are attractive, right? They're younger ladies. And I think one that plays a role into it, I trust, right? If I didn't trust you, then it would be problematic.
Oh yeah.
Right? If I thought there was ever something you had a, wandering eye, then I think it could definitely be problematic. Number two, it also helps that I got to select these young ladies or give input. Granted, someone can come to your home and you thought they were one way, but then when they come into your home, they act a different way. So if I felt any of these ladies were trying to slide in or things like that, then they would have to go. And then I would expect that you would respect whatever opinion that I would have, right? Because I think that's important. You got to respect my level of comfortability.
Oh, absolutely. I do not like complication in my life one bit.
Correct. Because I feel like if I thought someone was trying to slide in or, show an extremity or, flaunt to you to be appealing to you, it may be uncomfortable and we may have a transition point of trying to find coverage for our kiddos, but I would expect that you would, take my feelings into consideration because I can see where that can cause contention in a relationship. It's interesting though, I've spoken to other colleagues or friends, and a lot of ladies are not quite comfortable with a lady coming to their home. And I get it to some degree. It can be a little off-putting. Thus far, though, we found some really nice individuals, I would say.
Yeah.
That some of them are just like, eh. And when I say eh, it's not because I think they're trying to appeal to Charles. It's just, they didn't have the most fun personality. But a lot of them have become extended family to us, during the duration that they're here with us. And so it's worked out really well for the childcare that we need. And if, God forbid, Charles was ever to, bunk his head somewhere and start having a wandering eye, then it's us cutting ties, right? I don't believe that to be the case, and I trust my husband, but whatever's done in the dark will come to light, and that would just be something for us to address, right? Because I'm not someone who, my husband is my husband. He's mine, I am his, right? That is our agreement. I don't know. What do you think about what other individuals think about our setup? Have you heard pushback? Like, I don't know about a lady living...
Well, I'll be honest, the first time when I came to accept the fact that in order to get childcare, we're going to have somebody live in the house, that's uncomfortable because nobody goes out and signs up for, voluntarily for, I want somebody who's not my family to live in the house. I mean, it's to accomplish a goal, and that goal is allowing us to get our daily jobs done. But I would say that with the au pair situation, it's been the least intrusive
Surprisingly.
as I could imagine, and also as we get farther into the program, I think we're on like number 7 now,
Yeah.
right? We're on that's crazy. We're on
Yeah.
number 7. But I actually get enjoyment out of seeing them have their experience here. Like getting to see Disney World for the first time. That's one of my favorite things. I love taking them to Disney World with us, and because everybody loves Disney World, and just seeing them experience the things over here is actually a lot of enjoyment to me. So I think that I found things from that go beyond childcare. Like it started with, oh, we need childcare, but then like the farther we get into the program, the more au pairs that we have, it's like, oh geez, I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to meeting somebody new, to helping them have a fun experience here, and it's kind of part of our lifestyle, I would say.
I think you're probably more invested than I am. Like, I care for their well-being, but I'm more so, I think I care about the experience that our children have. And I understand it's a privilege to have the space, the financial means to have an au pair or live-in nanny, but I enjoy watching them engage with the children, taking them out, playing games, braiding our daughter's hair, things like that. I like seeing them engage, and when we find au pairs who are pleasant and joyful when they're having fun with the kiddos, I like seeing that. Now, as far as their new experiences, I hope they do, but I'm not really gauging. I don't know. I don't really, it's not something that I'm like, ooh, let me watch them, take delight in going to Disney. I don't think I'm that invested. I don't know, call me cold, but I'm not, because I know they're going to eventually leave, and usually we lose contact. That being said, I'm not saying I don't care about them. Like, I want them to be content, but I'm not.
Sounds like you don't care.
No, I do care, but I'm not as hyper focused about these experiences. Like, go out, date, have fun, come back smiling and happy, but I'm not so intertwined in their life to that degree, because it's still transactional to some degree for me. And I realize that I feel like becoming immersed can sometimes cause conflict, right? So I still try to, like, you need to show up at this time, do this work, hopefully find some enjoyment in it, and we can be of benefit with, taking you to certain cities or things like that. But beyond that, hopefully you have some enjoyment, but I'm not as invested. I think we just have two different personalities. I don't think Charles is wrong. I just find that's kind of my approach with it.
So anyway, kind of bringing it all back together. That was our topic for today. We thought that we'd share with you guys something that we thought was kind of interesting about the fact that for the last 6 years we've grappled with the fact that we always have a lady living in our house who is not part of our family.
But it's been working, right? It's been working. So let us know, is this something, if you had young children, both you and your partner or yourself were working full time, would it be something that you'd be comfortable with? Or tell us what your thoughts are in regards to that. As always, remember to like and subscribe down below. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.